Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Tuesday, 4th June 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. T20 World Cup Cricket proceeds amid terrorist threats, which regional security authorities say they have under control. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. The 20-team T20 World Cup will be hosted across 9 venues, 6 in the West Indies and 3 in the United States. Concerns have arisen following the circulation of a video containing terror threats, but authorities have given assurances that steps are being taken to bolster security at the sporting event. Solange Alfred of HTS News Force reports.
The Caribbean will come alive as several islands gear up to host matches for the ICC T20 World Cup. St. Lucia, according to Prime Minister and Minister for National Security, Philip J. Pierre, is looking to build on its experiences to ensure a seamless hosting of 6 ICC T20 World Cup matches.
St. Lucia is we are pretty well prepared. Again, it's a joint situation, and we've been there before. There was a World Cup in 2006, so there's one port of entry. The Minister of National Security have a meeting, and plans are well on the way. The tickets are selling off the roof, and we expect, like a good jazz, we expect good cricket.
But Prime Minister Pierre was probed on concerns looming over reports of terrorist threats surrounding the World Cup.
The fear of terrorism was higher in 2006, and we combated it. Let's look at the glass half full, gentlemen. Why are we taking our country always in a half empty situation? The threat of terrorism exists today. There's a threat of terrorism. We're taking all necessary steps to deal with it. Why are we pleading for bad things to happen to our country? Why are we doing that?
The ICC and Cricket West Indies have assured that a comprehensive and robust security plan is in place for the World Cup.
That is why the whole Caribbean has got together to deal with it. It's a regional threat. That's why it is, comrades.
In a joint statement, the ICC and Cricket West Indies stated that they are working closely with host countries and are continually monitoring and evaluating the global landscape to ensure appropriate plans are in place to mitigate any risks identified to the event.
From the United States to the United Nations, the international community scaled up its commitment to helping small island developing states in the fight against climate change last week at SIDS-4. However, one expert who worked on the Paris Agreement tells us small island states must face the developed countries head-on to get their climate needs met. CNC3's Ryan Bechu reports.
It was the Caribbean's little COP, and for most of this week the attention of the world was on Antigua and Barbuda for SIDS-4. After 4 days of negotiations, it culminated with the United States committing to quadruple its climate finance to US $11 billion from this year onwards. The EU pledged to mobilize €300 billion in public and private investments by 2027. The UNDP announced a new $135 million Blue and Green Islands integrated program, while the Green Climate Fund presented its 50 by 30 vision to manage US $50 billion by 2030.
We're seeing the cost of that in action now, right? We're seeing the cost of 10 years of missed opportunities.
St. Lucia's Dr. James Fletcher, who helped craft the famous Paris Agreement, reacted on the big interview this week. He says the Alliance of Small Island Developing States must negotiate together for its climate needs at the United Nations.
We have to say, okay, you know what? you want our support for something. It could be a seat on the Security Council. It could be hosting the next expo. I don't care what it is, but there are certain things that we need in return. I think we have to use that strength. We would say, well, you small country, St. Lucia is 180,000 people. What can St. Lucia do? Yes, but St. Lucia is a part of a community within CARICOM that holds 14 votes in every single UN system. And as part of a wider community within SIDS, within AOSIS, that holds 30-something votes within every single UN system. Let's work together to ensure that we get the things that we want.
Now it's on to the implementation of the Antigua and Barbuda agenda for SIDS. And Dr. Fletcher insists
there must be money committed to the Antigua and Barbuda agenda for SIDS. There must be a commitment by the international community to helping SIDS to navigate these challenges that are in front of them.
Promises at these conferences tend to come in abundance. Actioning, however, is usually inadequate. Ryan Bachu, CNC3 News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Reggae artists made a united call for peace and an end to violence and crime at the Redemption concert on Saturday at the Queen's Park Savannah in Trinidad. Karen Cozier-Phillips of TTT News brings us that story.
The Way Forward was an appropriate theme for one of the biggest annual reggae concerts in Trinidad and Tobago, Redemption the Concert 2024. Miguel Collins, the iconic Sizzler Kalonji, appealed to the youth, saying he was not used to gun violence among the youth in Trinidad and Tobago.
Now to every gunman in Trinidad, every gangster in Trinidad, all who have guns firing guns killing each other, my message to you is for you to form a non-profit organization. Every gangster must form a non-profit organization and start doing community services.
We caught up with Sizzler off stage. He wants the youth to appreciate that they are the future.
Your parents have worked really hard for you to be the better of yourself and the better of the family. And being the better of the family is being the better of your country. So your duty as youth is to carry that torch, that light, that spark, ignite that flame.
David Hines of legendary reggae band Steel Pulse believes people need to take time to understand each other's culture and religion.
Is that people are become ignorant, have lost the way as far as education when it comes to religion, when it comes to cultures. There's been a lot of disrespect amongst different races about what each other believes in.
While Marvin King, popularly known as Mr. King, one of the artists featured on the recently released The Call, a statement on the upsurge in violence, says the real fight is to unite Trinidad and Tobago.
Youths, come on. It's time to band together. It's time to decide where the real fight is. It's time to better ourselves, to network, to move up. We need to develop ourselves, not fight amongst ourselves, and not destroy the black man, not destroy the Indian, not destroy nobody.
Colin Patrick Harper, better known by his stage name Collie Buds, also gave his opinion on violence and crime.
Government is real, politicians are real. Vote for people who you think will make change. And, I know the crime and violence is stepping up a lot of places in the world. And just try to stay conscious.
Redemption the concert featured sets from Jamaican artists Sizzler Kalonji, Steel Pulse, Super Cat and Christopher Martin, alongside Bermudan Collie Buds and local acts Jam Melody and Mr. King. Karen Cozier-Phillips, TTT News.
In other news, teacher and parent charged with assault after fight at Vere Technical High School over a school bag. Jamelia Maitland of TVJ News has more.
There was no teaching at the Ver Technical High School on Wednesday after teachers did not show up for classes. According to Principal O'Neill Lewin, a teacher confiscated the bag of a student who was allegedly disruptive in class. The bag was placed in the staff room. After school ended, the parent of the student attempted to go into the staff room to retrieve the school bag, but was prevented by another teacher.
The parent was trying to retrieve an item belonging to the student from the staff room. The parent was directed by another member of staff to wait at the staff room for the item, and the parent decided to physically go inside the staff room and collect it. And the teacher tried to prevent that, and it resulted in that physical confrontation.
The police charged both the parent and the teacher. Mr. Lewin revealed that the teacher had to seek medical treatment for injuries to her face, breast, and chest area. She has not returned to school. TVJ News was unable to ascertain the injuries of the parent. The educators are angry.
This morning, the teachers had a meeting and they have decided that they will actually be sitting in. They will not be having any physical classes until this matter is actually dealt with by both the ministry and the board of management.
It was hard not to miss the police officers on the school's compound on Wednesday. Mr. Lewin says it serves as a stark reminder of how hostile their work environment can be. The school principal argues that having to deal with indisciplined children is one thing. The parents, however, add a new layer of disrespect.
That is something, as a sore point which we are trying to address. But when the parents actually try to do the same thing which we are trying to get the students out of, then it is a major concern for our society.
Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
The Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force, RSCNFPF, received a significant boost to its crime-fighting capabilities with the generous donation of crime scene processing supplies by the Regional Security System, RSS, and the CARICOM Implementation Agency for Crime and Security, CARICOM Impacts. Andre Huey of SKN Newsline reports.
According to a press release from the police force, during the ceremony, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, Glenroy Blanchett, expressed gratitude to Major Kerry Waterman, Director of the Policing and Risk Management at RSS, and Dr. Andre Clark, Chief of Operations Intelligence at CARICOM Impacts, for their contribution and support to crime-fighting efforts in St. Kitts and Nevis.
We are grateful for this kind gesture of supplies, which will bolster our capacity to investigate crime scenes. And so we are indeed grateful to the RSS for this tangible contribution. I also want to thank our NSA National Security Advisor, Dr. Rollins, for the role he has played in making sure that this comes to fruition. And I can assure you that it will certainly be done to the benefit of our crime fighting capacity.
Yeah, it's really important that we work together to fight the scourge of crime within our member states. And as such, this is just a small contribution as part of the bigger picture that we have as it relates to crime fighting initiatives for the region. We're working really closely with CARICOM Impacts. Dr. Clark and I are working on some initiatives, and we do look forward to working with you and the team going forward. Thank you so much.
The brief ceremony was attended by key officials and dignitaries, including National Security Advisors Dr. Lionel Van Frederick Rollins and Dr. Edwin Powell, Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Comrie of the St. Kitts Nevis Defence Force, Deputy Commissioner of Police Cromwell Henry, and Assistant Commissioners of Police Travis Rogers, James Francis, and Andre Mitchell. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give It's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.